Hello everyone, and welcome to 3DS. Welcome to the best and worst 3 days of your life. We all know that we have a dream, and we all know that we have a story to tell. And so our job here at 3DS is to make sure that we can facilitate and encourage students just like you to make your dreams come true. So we do have a schedule. We want to stick to that schedule, and I'm going to go through it briefly so we can make sure that everything runs smoothly throughout the program. So first off, we have the kickoff. Then we have brainstorming. Then we have the preliminary pitches and feedback. Then there's voting, team formation, and then most importantly is the lean canvas. The lean canvas is a blueprint for your dream. So we all have the dream, but we want to know how we're going to get to that next step. How are we going to get to that next level? So this blueprint lays it out step by step in order to get success for your dream. So we have the preliminary pitches and feedback. So anyone who has an idea, we're going to write it on this board, and then we're all going to vote on it. And we're going to go old school. So it's heads up, 7 up. So no one gets to watch, and then once we pick our teams, everyone gets to choose which team they want to be on, and then you form in your group, and then you start on your lean canvas. Then, day 2, we have customer discovery, which is probably the most important aspect of this entire program. Why? Because we're going to send you out into the real world. So your dream is now going to be opened up to the real world. So now what you need to do is figure out who your customer is, what problems do they have, and how your dream can help solve their problem. Then we have mentorship. Then we're going to have intermediate pitch workshop and intro to prototyping. Then we'll have intermediate pitches again with some feedback. So this is round 2 of pitches with your team. And then on day 3, we're going to have a pitch workshop. So we're going to try to clean up all those pitches so that when it comes time to the investors, it's going to be nice and clean. Then we'll have office hours, and then the pitch deck is due. And then that's basically it. So the next step. So this is the Lean Startup Canvas. The first part is the customer segment. But before we get into that, we need to understand the importance of the Lean Canvas, which is the scientific approach. So like in science class, we learned how we have a hypothesis, we have to test that hypothesis, and we have to go through multiple variables and factors to figure out how to solve this issue, to make sure if our hypothesis is correct or if it's wrong. So in this case, the scientific approach for our Lean Up is creating and managing startups to get a desired product into customers' hands faster. So your dream is your hypothesis. You have this idea in your head. Now it's time to take it to that next level to see if it's going to work or not. So you have to test it. Then you have your manage your chaos. Me personally, the way I would do it is you're building experiments. You have to come up with different solutions to figure out if your product is going to be right or not. Then you have to measure the metrics to figure out, okay, did my plan work? How am I going to able to track my success for my business? And then you learn assumptions, meaning, okay, so based off what my idea was and based off the data that I've collected, what do I need to improve, or what do I need to scale back? What do I need to do next? Then you have the basic, obvious drawback of every business is that it's from a lack of paying customers, which goes into our next segment of direct action through a tested framework to evaluate strengths and weakness of any idea. So when we're coming up with your dream and you have your team together, you need to figure out exactly what your strengths and weaknesses are and figure out how to take care of those weaknesses so that you don't have the trouble of, say, a lack of paying customers, which is the #1 reason why these businesses fail or these startups fail in their beginning stages. So here at 3DS, we started at UT campus in 2008, and here are some of the founders of the Lean Canvas. So moving on, this gets a little bit more into detail, a closer look at what the Lean Canvas looks like. So the #1 is your customer segment. That is how you identify who your target market is. Is it a single mom with 3 kids? Is it a hipster who lives in the east side of Austin? Who knows? but that's for you to find out. Next, we have the customer segment. It goes a little bit more into detail as far as that specific group that you need to identify when going through the lean canvas. So it's basically like saying you need to identify who are your customers and then who are your users. For this example, your customers are the people that pay you, and then your users are the ones who don't. So an example that I'd like to use is Sam's Club, because we all love Sam's Club. So your business is the person behind who has all the samples laid out. And everyone's just coming, taking their pick. So the users are the people who, yeah, I'll think about it, but they take a sample. Those are users. Then your customers are the people who actually sample your product, but then they go ahead and buy the product. Those are the people who are going to get that stream of revenue into your business to get that stream going. So your problems are the frustrations that your customers experience with whatever alternative product that is out there in the market right now. So your solution is to try to fix that problem. You're trying to figure out, okay, what alternatives can I bring to this specific issue that my customers are experiencing? Then your value proposition, which is a nice, clean, smooth, compelling message in order to let your customers know what it is, who you are, and what you do, which is a short term for saying a mission statement. This is your mission statement to the world. So this is letting people know what your dream is. So solution, a minimal set of functionality to solve each problem for the customer. So what problems are my customers currently facing, and what can my business do for them that makes it unique throughout all the other markets? So you have to have your business model and how you're going to be able to sustain your business through rough times, through those startup years or startup stages in your business. So then you have the unfair advantage, which is basically telling everyone, how are you going to be able, with your still clear, smooth message, how are you going to be able to tell your customers, you need to buy my product because what's out there in the market right now doesn't work. And why you need to buy my product, and here's why. And then your channels. How are you going to get to your customers? How are people going to know about your product? Do you go through Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat? Who knows? But that's what you need to figure out. What method of social media or market strategy are you going to use that's going to be effective for your customers? Where are your customers at? And then your revenue streams, which is, going back to the previous slides, is the number one reason why startups fail. It's because there's not enough revenue to sustain the business. So how is your revenue going to come in? And so I know that's a lot of information. I know that things are kind of hectic right now, but luckily we have a playbook for you guys so that you can reference throughout the entire 3DS experience. And so I'm here to help you. My peers are here to help you. And our mission, again, is to make your dreams come true. So thank you.